Welcome to Go Lurk Yourself, a podcast about playing games and streaming on the internet. My name is Crunky.
I'm Snuffus, and you're not.
What's up, Snuffus? How you been, man?
Oh, good, dude. How you been doing?
Not bad. Longtime listeners know Snuffus is a favorite co-host here, and friend of the show, a friend of mine on Steam and Twitter, and no, not Twitter, Twitch, since like way back. How long have we known each other now?
Oh man, it seems like forever, but I just did the resub on your channel. It was like over 2 years. It was like 26 months or something.
God bless, that's crazy.
I know.
And the next time you stream, I'm going to sub you again.
I think I'm hitting my quarterly stream here soon. I think it's coming up.
Nice. Well, Snuffus is a good dude, a great gamer, good friend, and the reason he doesn't stream a whole lot is he's got 17 children now, I think.
Yeah, 17. In 51 different states.
Yeah, they all play sports. So and he is a good dad and takes care of them and coaches them and drives them to practice. So how's your summer, dude?
Busy. Baseball. Yeah. Like you said, kids. Both my boys were playing all-star baseball all summer. So.
Oh my God! Humble brag much.
I know.
My kids are all-stars. No big.
My kids are all-stars. My 4-year-old was playing with 8-year-olds all-star baseball. Nothing.
Do you have a bumper sticker on your truck that says "My kid beat up your kid"?
Yeah, I should.
My all-star baseball player kid beat up your chess team or chess champion team.
My 4-year-old turned up a double play on your kid.
He posterized him. No, that's awesome, dude. I know it's been rough for you to find time to game. I've seen you here and there playing some stuff. Let's go to the section of the podcast where we talk about what have we been playing lately.
Yeah. I've been playing. I bought a PGA Tour game a few months ago, and I just got right back into it. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's nice to come down here and play kind of at the end of the day just to relax. It's called the Golf Club 2019. It's made by 2K. It's just kind of a fun, nice, relaxing game to play.
Oh, you remember 2K back when they used to make football games where Madden said, "We are the only NFL game that can be made"?
Yeah. EA and 2K really messed up the football video game and the basketball video game because both of them now have exclusive license on both of them. So actually,
2K does not have NFL license at all anymore.
Well, yeah, Madden or EA has exclusive football.
Oh, okay.
And 2K doesn't necessarily have exclusive NBA rights, but NBA Live, I guess, took a hiatus for like 6 years, and they just came out with it 2 years ago, a new version of it, and it's pretty crappy. It's pretty terrible.
Is NBA Live the one also made by 2K, or is that EA's version?
EA, that's EA. 2K's is 2K NBA.
Oh, I see what they did there. That was a dumb question. I haven't played one since. Let me see. The last 2K basketball game I played had Kobe and Shaq running the Lakers. When was that?
Oh, God. 04? 06? It was a long time ago.
Oh, man. So longtime listeners know that I live in the state of Indiana, and our team in the NBA is the Pacers. And around that time, our team got into like a massive melee brawl with the Detroit Pistons, spilled into the crowd. Our players were like haymaker dudes in the crowd.
What did they call that? The Malice in the Palace or something like that?
Yeah, I've heard it called that, and like the melee, the Pacers melee. I don't know, but none of those guys are even on our team anymore. But it literally made me not want to watch the NBA anymore. It just I lost my taste for it. After
that was pretty disgusting.
Plus, I got old, and all the players that I idolized growing up are all retired and dead.
It's really funny to see, not to go off on a crazy tangent, but
that's what this show's all about, dude. What are you talking about?
It's crazy to see the evolution of the NBA. Back in the 80s and 90s and stuff, it was the bad blue boys up in Detroit, tough basketball. And now the shift has gone so far away from that tough guy NBA type person.
It's all run and gun, outside shooters.
It's run and gun, outside shooters. Almost everybody's friendly and friends with each other, and they all have ventures outside of the NBA. It's way different from how it was, 20, 30 years ago. It's crazy.
I guess I'll have to tune into a game. I think I watched one round of the finals last year at my father-in-law's. I was on vacation.
It's going to be entertaining out in the West, man. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. It's going to be very entertaining.
For all you gamers out there who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, don't worry. We're going to come right back to video games in a second. So anyway, NBA or the Golf Club 2019. Yep. Tell us about it. It looks like I'm looking at it on Steam right now. It looks like a pretty true to life sim, like the old Tiger Woods games were, but from EA.
It's very much like the old Tiger. A lot of the controls and everything are very much like the old Tiger Woods games.
Does it have the right stick rocking, or does it have the meter, where like Mario Golf meter?
They have both. You can do the three click meter if you want to do that, but you can get better accuracy and better loft and control and power with the right stick swing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you don't necessarily upgrade your clubs. So, like the clubs you start with are the clubs you will play forever with.
Okay.
Yeah, the only way you can increase distance and everything is if you play with a narrower swing plane. So they have
easy for you to say.
Did I make that word up? Is that a word?
Narrower, yes.
More narrow. So they have beginner, intermediate, and pro. So a pro, if you swing perfect, 100% perfect on a pro swing, your ball will travel further than if you swing 100% perfect on a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah,
but if you mess up, it's less forgiving on the pro.
Yes, much less forgiving. Yeah. So you can buy like cosmetic stuff. You can earn in-game currency to buy cosmetic things and cosmetic stuff for your clubs and everything.
Wait, can I pay to win?
You cannot. No, I don't believe there are any. I don't think you can pay to get in-game currency. Not that I've seen, at least.
Sure.
Yeah, but you really don't need to. If you win a couple tournaments in your PGA Tour, you have enough to buy certain outfits and stuff.
I mean, on Steam right now, it's $50, and it's probably been out since it came out a year ago. Wow,
yeah, it came out a year ago. Yeah,
okay.
So right now they're at a one game every 2 years pace. Yeah, and if it's something interesting, I'd go to. What I did was I went to isthereadeal.com and put it in there, and it sends me a notification every time it drops below $25.
Nice.
I found it for like $18 somewhere, and I've 100% gotten my $18 out of this game.
I love reading reviews on Steam. The most helpful negative review is from a person named Commodore 64. It says, having played many golf games over the span of my long and miserable life, I cannot recommend this one. It's mostly positive reviews, but the negative one's
long and miserable life. Yeah, I was reading some of the negative reviews on it, and that's why initially I didn't buy it.
Okay,
but it's a solid golf sim.
Waited for a sale on it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and they should be coming out with another one probably next year.
I know what you mean, though, about how a golf game or something like that you could just chill. You could just look, it's scenic views, it's perfect weather. Mm-hmm. You sit there in front of the computer monitor or a TV or whatever you got and just like relax at the end of the day, especially if you've been, I don't know, wrangling cats all day at the baseball diamond.
Exactly. You come in here, you slap your cans on, you get a couple beers, and you sit here and just play golf and relax. And there's online play too.
Oh, really? Against other players? Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
Yep. And you can do like online tournaments with other players and stuff. You can create your own courses. So if you have a local course, that you like to play on a lot, you can take a lot of the parameters they have and type them into this game, and it'll, try to emulate your local course, and you can play on your local course.
All right, we got to stop talking about this game because I'm about to click purchase on it. I have too many games to play as it is.
It's fun, man. It is a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Well, speaking of getting caught up on old games, the game I've recently dove into was Doom 2016. I bought it at release on PC, and I played it a couple of times, but that was right as I started streaming. And I remember it was maybe the second or third level in, I was I didn't know where to go, and I got frustrated. I had a bunch of other games to play, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I bought it. I think I bought it on a Steam sale maybe. But anyway, I basically stopped playing it and never went back to it. And I don't know what it was the other day. I think, you know what it was? My internet was out. We had some really bad storms and my internet went down. Mm-hmm. So I decided to, install it and play it offline. Because I'm like, listen, you don't need, I can't play PUBG. I can't play Rainbow Six or any of the shooters I want, but I want to shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? I haven't played Doom in a while. I haven't tried it since I got my new graphics card, and oh my God, it is so awesome.
The one thing I remember from that game when it first came out and people were streaming it was how beautiful it was.
Yeah.
It is a very pretty game.
Another thing that stopped me from playing it is it's a harder game to stream. It doesn't like the game capture in OBS.
Oh.
It uses something called the Vulkan engine that id Software, the people who make that game, have designed from the ground up. And I think that's why it looks great, is it's optimized by John Carmack, who's the godfather of gaming, of 3D gaming. So he definitely, you could tell that game is made to run smooth as silk. I was playing it the other night, and D came in and was like, "Oh my god, it's so awesome looking!" What? And I go, "Yeah." And I went into settings and I had everything on ultra. I was running it, and I thought I was running it in 1080. I was running it in 4K at 120 frames per second.
Oh, I bet that was gorgeous.
Oh man, it was so great. So I streamed it last night for about 3 hours.
Now that's the game where you find that's the Doom where you find the little pop up bobblehead dolls Easter
yeah,
eggs,
those
right?
are the secrets. Yeah, that's that one.
Yes, okay. I was just making sure I was thinking of the same game.
Yeah, and it's funny. You pick them up and they're playing like a little 8-bit version of the Doom 1, the original Doom song music. He picks up the little bobblehead. It looks like a chibi or a what do they call those? Funko Pops.
Yes, the Funko. That's Funko Pops. That's what I was thinking of.
He's got the big head and he pulls his little fist up and he fist bumps him and like his hand blows his hand away. You know. But I'll tell you what I love about the game. Like it looks great. It runs smooth and it's. I'm one of the few people that loved Doom 3. Like, a lot of people hate Doom 3. Like, if you go look at the critical reception of it, it was the critics liked it okay, but, like, fan reaction was mostly negative.
Oh.
And because it was not really a Doom game where you run and gun and it's action-packed, it was more of a I actually watched this video a couple of years ago where somebody was railing against it about how it pretty much rips off Half-Life 1, and they showed it side by side, and it's stupidly exactly the same as Half-Life 1. The intro, I mean.
I will have to watch that because I've never played Doom 3. I don't even think I've ever seen Doom 3 played. Yeah,
Doom 3, I tried to play it on Halloween last year, and on Halloween night, it was a Friday night, I'm like, I'm going to stream one of my favorite horror games, Doom 3, and I'm going to show everybody how awesome it is, and then, of course, it's also in the some form of the Vulkan engine, so it wouldn't run for shit on my stream. But I've actually a friend of the podcast, a friend I've known longer before I did a podcast. Dama is sending me some computer parts he has left over from he built him and his daughter a PC, and he had some parts that didn't work out and he forgot to send back. Oh. So I'm going to build a small a couple years older, but still good enough. I'm going to make a streaming PC. That way I can game on a PC without suffering performance drops from also ripping video for OBS to send out. So
that's what I should have done with my old PC. I gave it to Crazy K, who uses it he uses his gaming PC about as much as I stream. So
I go take it back, man.
That's what I told him. I was like, I'm gonna come over this weekend and come take my old PC back and use it as a streaming PC.
And when you want it back, you let me know, and I guarantee it'll be a year from now before you even think about it. But yeah, what makes that game great is not just that, but also it has weapon and suit upgrades that are upgradable by performance in game. And there's something awesome about that feedback loop of if you go out of your way to do challenges, get risky headshots or aerial visceral attacks, they have these things called I don't remember the name of it. Basically, when an enemy gets low, they start flashing, and you can push a button, and it does this super vicious, rips their head off and shits down their neck, and one of the demons has a horn, and you break its horn off and stab it in the heart.
Like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Basically.
Yeah,
They're called glory kills. That's what they're called.
Okay.
Well, and so there's these achievements, there'll be challenges in every mission, every level. If you perform this certain glory kill on this certain monster 4 times, you'll get an extra point to spend on upgrading your weapon. So all your guns have upgrade paths. The first one, I focused on was the shotgun. The Doom shotgun is iconic. So the first one you can choose between a three shot burst or a right click and lob a grenade out of it, like a grenade launcher. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I went for the grenade launcher one, and then if the first upgrade point does that, the second one lets it reload faster, and the third one does if you land a perfect lob shot, it'll drop cluster bombs all around the explosion. Nice. And it's just that little stuff that makes it okay, while you're playing through the game, you're also playing this mini game of doing these challenges. They have these runes you find where they'll be it'll load into a separate instance of this challenge. You got to perform sometimes it's platforming, sometimes it's killing enemies in a certain amount of time, and if you do that, they give you more points to spend on your gun. So it's one of those things that the rich get richer, but it's a solo game, so who cares?
Yeah, right.
The old Call of Duty Modern Warfare formula. That guy's dominating the leaderboard. Let's give him a nuke.
Let's give him more stuff to dominate the leaderboard multiplayer.
Right.
Do you want invisibility? Do you want to make it unfair for everybody? Yeah, that's Call of Duty and Star Wars wrapped in a nutshell. The new Star Wars Battlefield
Battlefront.
For EA, for EA wrapped in a nutshell.
Speaking of invisibility, have you seen the trailer for the new Predator game?
No, I didn't even know they were making a new Predator game.
Yeah, like the most exciting thing about it is the idea of a Predator game, but it's sort of like what's that game where everyone plays the killer and everyone runs from him?
Oh, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. It kind of reminds me, like I don't know any detail, like exactly how it plays, so don't write into the show telling me I'm an idiot. I already know that I'm an idiot. I'm speaking from a place of ignorance. I watched a 3-minute trailer, but basically, my first impression was it reminded me of Dead by Daylight, and you saw like players running around the ground in their army gear. They look just like out of the movie, and then a couple players were like up in the trees with predators, and they were having a firefight. Right?
Well, did it look boring at all?
Well, no, but it looked kind of janky. Like,
well, if it doesn't look boring, it's nothing like Dead by Daylight.
A lot of people love Dead by Daylight, and I think that's great. But it like whatever its trick is does not work on me.
Same with me, man.
It's like, okay, so I click on this engine, and then a door opens, and we leave. That's it.
Are we? So we're done now. We're going
and run from the bad guy. Okay, I guess. Like, and then I watch streamers play it that love that game, and they get like scared and sweaty and run, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. I just don't have a soul. That shit doesn't scare me. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm glad that people love it, but it doesn't make my heart race. I think it's our buddy Chaos that says,
yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, one of the reasons he loves PUBG over most all other shooters is because that tension of being, surrounded. When you get in the top 10, he goes, nothing just gets his heart racing like that. And I think there's something to be said about that. Video games trigger something in your brain to make you excited, make you happy, make you sad. All these great games you've ever played trigger some kind of emotional response, and that game does not for me. Like, it doesn't make me scared at all.
Yeah, the exact same. I feel that way. And what was Freddy versus Friday the 13th?
Yeah, the same thing.
The same. Yeah, same.
It was
same
just
deal.
silly.
I'm just like, this is goofy.
Now, I will say this: there was a game on PC years ago called Fear, Fear, like First Encounter Assault Recall. That game scared the absolute piss out of me. The little girl, the ghost, they would do jump scares at you at the randomest times. That game got me. So there are scary games. I thought Doom 3 was scary.
The game you got me, Alien Isolation.
Oh yeah,
I played that on Halloween, and it was. I didn't even get to the scary parts, and I am such like. When it comes to like jump scares and stuff like that, I am a huge baby.
Did you ever finish it, or was it too scary?
No. I'm going to play it again this Halloween.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be my yearly thing until I finish the game.
I figured by 2025 I'll have it be.
Yeah, I'll get it.
That game, to go off on even more of a tangent, there was a spot early on when you first run into the alien, before the game really opens up, the xenomorph, sorry. I don't know why I called it an alien. Oh yeah, that's the franchise's name. But anyway, there's a spot where you have to like hide in a locker, and I don't know if the pathing was bugged, but literally he would not get the fuck out of the way. So I was stuck in a locker, was my resave spot, and every time I would get out, no matter where he was, boom, he was on me and killed me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I closed down, rebooted my computer, and that fixed it. Then all of a sudden the pathing worked. So I almost never played that game, and it's one of my. What was that? 2-3 years ago, that was my game of the year because it's so true to the actual movies, the 80s movies. So like all the technology looks from the 80s, like how the future was imagined then. You look at it now, it's like, what is this shit?
So I've never seen any of the aliens past the first two.
I'm sorry, podcast is over. I'm never talking to you again. Click.
Well, no, past the first two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen the original, and I saw whatever the one was, the second one after the original.
Sorry, I've never seen any of the aliens. I stopped listening after that.
My brain just shut down.
I was like, nope, click.
So I've seen the original two, but I've never seen any of the franchise past the original two.
Oh, then you're good, because the rest of them are all fucking garbage.
Oh, well, perfect. So I'll take those off my watch list.
There's a couple of redeeming qualities with Alien 3, but I would not recommend it, really.
Okay.
And Alien Resurrection, I saw it in the theater once, and I walked out of the theater shaking my head going, why?
I saw a bit of Alien versus Predator.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't understand a lot of it, so I turned it off.
Those are just campy action films. They're not. They're more Predator than they are Alien.
I thought it was going to be sort of like the Freddy versus Jason movie, where it's just kind of goofy.
Yeah,
the two people fighting each other.
That movie was fun, like in the theater on a Friday night, but it's not like cinematic masterpiece.
No, it's not something that I'll go back and rewatch. I can tell you that.
Well, all right, we've rambled on and on about everything we've been playing lately, and then some.
Yeah.
Let's get to the meat of the episode today, where we're going to talk about a video game. Spoiler alert if you didn't look at the title of the episode. Trover Saves the Universe on Steam, and is it on Xbox?
Steam, PS4, I know. I don't know if it's on Xbox or not.
Does anybody even own an Xbox anymore?
I own an Xbox 360.
Oh, okay. Well, write into the podcast and let us know if you're one of the 14 people on Earth that own an Xbox One, because they're getting to be a dying breed these days.
We were looking at buying a console for our kids this Christmas, and my wife was like, what should we buy them, a PlayStation or an Xbox? And I was like, well, since we have self-respect, we'll buy them a PlayStation.
They haven't been terrible bastards, so we're not going to give them an Xbox One. We're not that mad at them.
Here's an Xbox One with no games.
What did we do, Daddy?
Sitting in the corner crying, I don't want a paperweight.
Oh my God. Can we at least have an N-Gage instead? Do you remember the N-Gage?
Yeah.
It was a little like mobile phone Game Boy piece of shit from like the early 2000s.
That thing did not last. That did not age well.
No, it was dead on arrival, I think.
Yeah. I don't even know anybody that had that.
But anyway, one game that you can't play on N-Gage is Trover Saves the Universe. You like that pro-level transition there?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Get us right back on track.
That was some Dave Chappelle.
Trover Saves the Universe, if you guys haven't seen or heard of it, is basically Rick and Morty, but not Rick and Morty. Justin Roiland, the creator and voice actor for Rick and Morty, is the writer and voice actor for most of this game.
Yeah, I think he does almost every character.
Now, I have not played the game, but I watched Snuffus play it quite a bit. I watched General Chaos Live play it quite a bit. And I will say unequivocally, it's the funniest game I've ever seen.
It's the most fun I've ever had playing a video game.
And that's not really because the game's okay. Like, I don't think it's terrible because it's made for VR. So you like your character's pretty docile or sits down. Literally, they call him a chairopian. Is the
Chairorpian? Yeah, Chairorpian.
So they basically sit in this floating chair, and you control Trover, who's his buddy, right?
Yep. Yeah, so you control...
Tell us more about it, yeah.
You control... So you have... Your Chairorpian is the character you technically play, and he has a controller, just like you have a controller. And he controls Trover like you control Trover. It's really neat.
It's pretty fourth wall breaking the entire time.
Yeah. The game itself is not groundbreaking. You go through levels, you solve puzzles, and you get rewards and stuff. So the actual gameplay is rather simplistic. But the whole narrative and the writing and the characters around it is so Rick and Morty-esque. So if you enjoy those cartoons, you will love this game.
And because we have a broad audience, I want to make sure to explain, if you don't know what Rick and Morty is or what the idea behind it is, what makes the show Rick and Morty, to me, great is, its setting is really sci-fi, and so is this. It's like slapstick sci-fi.
Yes.
But it also is more improvisational than most cartoons. Like, they literally sit down, they have like a sketched out timeline of the show or like a storyboard, but then they kind of ad lib most of the show.
Yep.
And if you've ever seen like live stand up or improv, you know how it kind of feels a little on the cusp of, or off the cuff and like on the edge of falling apart at any minute. That's basically what Rick and Morty and Trover sounds like.
Yeah. Then
they go back and animate it afterwards. So they do the recordings and then they animate it. And this game definitely feels like that. And Justin Roiland's humor is all throughout this game.
And it's absolutely hilarious. And you can tell the points where they do the improvisational thing and it almost like falls off and then it just comes back and then he just rolls off 6 or 7 jokes. And the thing that I liked about it is NPC characters in other games are kind of, they're not a big part of it. Essentially, they play their role. Yeah, they play their role and then they're done. There's no depth to them. With Trover Saves the Internet, Trover will run around and you interact with an NPC and then you run away and the NPC is still interacting with either itself or another NPC or something, and the conversations they have together are absolutely hilarious.
That's where the gold is in this game.
It's so great. I mean, there were points in the game where I was just sitting there for 10 or 15 minutes listening to NPCs talk to each other and just these hilarious conversations they are having with each other. It is absolutely gold.
One that jumps to mind is when I watched you play it was when the guards that were sitting on the wall that you couldn't get up to.
Yes.
They're just taunting you the whole time. You're walking around trying to figure out this puzzle. They're like, look at this asshole. He's never going to get up here. And if you listen long enough, they start giving you hints. They're like, he's not going to go over and grab that brick and push it over here to get up here, is he? And then you get up there, he's like, oh, fuck, he did. They start like, oh, fine, let's fight. And it's like, it's so stupid. Like if all of this sounds ridiculous to you, it's because it is. That's what makes it awesome.
It totally is. Yeah.
And they're not afraid to break the fourth wall like that. They'll talk to you as like the person playing a video game. Like they talk to you like they know it's a video game.
Yeah, they break the fourth wall almost the entire game.
It's pretty early on. Trover, who you're controlling with a controller, literally in game and in real life, is he gets up to the top of this puzzle, and there's literally like a bunch of buttons on a matrix, and he's like, "Gee, this looks really tough." And you're commanding him to push buttons, trying to figure out this pattern. And he's like, I don't know, man. This looks pretty bullshit. What the fuck? These lazy developers, what are they trying to do to us over here? He goes, you know what? Fuck this. Stand back. And he like brings out something that just smashes it through.
Breaks through the gate. He's like, fuck this puzzle. We're not going to do this puzzle. Screw it. This is stupid. Who did this?
And if you can't tell by us quoting all the F-bombs in this show, there's a hard R on the language in this game.
Oh,
and subject matter.
Yeah. And they also actually have this game. And I was kind of curious as to if this was a troll or not. I haven't tried it yet. They have a censored version of the game where you can play it without all the cursing and everything.
Oh, no.
I want to try it to see if it's a troll or something. If you click it and they're like, nah, fuck that. You can't play it with the censor on. You got to play it like this.
That would be the kind of fourth wall shit that they do in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I saw that part, and then like later on in the game, there's a part where you have to like make a decision about who to kill, and it's like a no-win situation. It's like the old who do you kill, who do you let go down the river, and in your game you end up choosing to kill the guy that he was a real asshole, and what was he doing? He had pregnant women downstairs, and he was doing what to them?
He was eating them.
He was eating these pregnant women.
Yeah, he was going to eat the pregnant women.
Oh, he was going to eat their babies.
Yeah, eat their babies. That's what it was. He was harvesting their babies to eat, and so like it was either kill him and all the pregnant women,
and their babies.
And their babies, or go kill the other guy. So it's like a lose-lose situation. And those pop up a couple times in the game, and one of them is later in the game, and I chose wrong. And I thought the game was over. So there's this guy in the bathtub, and you can interact with different stuff around.
Right.
And I picked the TV up and threw the TV in the bathtub and killed the dude. And like, so you sit there for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, the game is over. I'm like, I bet this game is so trolly. I bet they're going to make me go back through the entire game and play the entire game and make the correct decision. But after waiting for a few minutes, it pops up and it's like, oh, you can still progress. Look, you were looking for like a crystal baby. And they're like, oh, the crystal baby's actually over here. It's not here at all. This was pointless. We didn't need to come here at all.
Oh, yeah, I saw that because he's like, I was surprised you killed that dude for a crystal. They're laying all over the ground here. And you look around and sure enough, they're everywhere. You're like, how did I not see this that whole time?
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to start this game over. Like, completely restart it.
But what I will say about the combat in the game, like the actual gameplay mechanics aren't terrible. Like it's made for VR, so
yes.
But you didn't play it in VR, and most people I've seen streaming aren't playing it in VR. You can literally, you're sitting in the chair, you can like hop to different levels, and they really use that mechanic to like in puzzle solving, and that way you can be up close to Trover when you're talking to him because you have lots of conversations with him. But also when it comes time to fight the bad guys as Trover, you can hop up in your chair 2 or 3 levels and look out over the field to combat. There's upgrade trees for your weapons and abilities, and so what I think the best thing I can say about the video game part of it, the actual mechanics, is that it's not great, but it's never so bad that it obstructs your fun or gets in the way of enjoying the story and enjoying the characters and stuff. And I think that's where the game shines. If you've ever played like any other licensed tie-in game, and I know this isn't a licensed tie-in game per se, clearly because it's all made up characters for this Trover franchise, but if you ever played like an old South Park game, or usually you're there to have a good time with the South Park guys or whatever it is. But sometimes the game mechanics get in the way. And I'm not talking about Stick of Truth or whatever the other one.
Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole. But like back in the late 90s, early 2000s on the N64 and PS1, there were these great concepts as games, but they were rushed out, and like they spent all their money on the franchise name and not the actual gameplay. So I think we're spoiled today with like Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, and a couple other ones that a big franchise tie-in game can also be good. I mean, it's been a long time.
Games.
Exactly. Yeah. It's been a long time since Superman 64.
Hey, don't you talk bad about that game.
I've played it. I've earned the right. So, did you finish Trover?
I did. I finished it. I actually finished it off stream. It was like I got home at like 10 p.m. one night and didn't feel like putting a shirt on to stream, so I just fired it up and I did finish it. And it's like you said, the gameplay is very simplistic. There's some puzzles and stuff that the puzzles sometimes can get a little challenging. But the gameplay is pretty simplistic. It's all centered around the story and the storytelling and the narrative and just the improv humor. And the gameplay does a great job of not getting in the way of you coming out of the story.
Yeah.
The whole time you're super involved with the story. You're paying attention, and the gameplay is just kind of something that's along for the ride.
I think that would be a hard game to stream because I would not be talking. I would just be listening the whole time.
That's what I found when I played the first half of the game when I streamed it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really interacting that much with chat. I was just crying, laughing. I was doubled over just laughing it because when I stream, I try to make my own comedy with whatever game I'm playing.
Right.
But this game, it does it all for you. So I was just sitting back drinking beer and laughing. It was almost like I was watching a movie or watching a show.
And you can find him at twitch.tv/Snuffus89.
Yes. My quarterly stream is coming up soon.
Don't miss it or you'll have to wait 3 months. Have to wait till Halloween to watch this bitch.
I don't want to overload the Twitch servers too much every month.
So on a scale of Rick to Morty, what grade would you give this game?
This is the rickiest Rick game I've ever played.
Ricked?
Yeah, I've ever ricked. So I would highly suggest this game to anybody who is a fan of the Rick and Morty cartoon,
or if you have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Here's who shouldn't play this game: people who are easily offended by the word "fuck."
Yeah.
People who
can't laugh.
People who don't have a soul should stay away from this game.
If you haven't watched Rick and Morty, but you enjoy South Park, I think you would enjoy this game.
Yeah, Rick and Morty was like when it came out, it kind of filled the void that Futurama left when it got canceled for me because it's crazy sci-fi, but it's also funny. It's its own thing. It's not like Futurama at all. It's just sci-fi funny, and there is a crossover between super sci-fi nerds and people who like comedy, and I'm one of them.
Yeah. The thing I love about Rick and Morty the most is it pulls on a lot of different emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's so much comedy, but there's so much depth, and then you see some of the things with Rick, like himself, just him when he's in his garage and like going through like depression and stuff, and you're like, oh shit, this is sad and dark. Like,
they're not afraid to go dark. I think the darkest animated show I've ever seen is probably BoJack Horseman. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like it's not near as funny, and it's got some funny moments, but it's way more dark.
Definitely, it's way darker than Rick and Morty.
But Rick and Morty is based on that relationship between Rick and Morty is based on Doc and Marty, right?
They
originally started off as like just those two like going through time and universes in the DeLorean, and but obviously they couldn't get the license for that. So they just said, we make our own version. We just call it Rick and Morty. Fuck Back to the Future.
Rick and Morty definitely does have nothing to do with Back to the Future. There's no ties whatsoever. You can't sue us, bastards.
So Trover Saves the Universe reminds me of the interdimensional TV episodes of the show Rick and Morty, where they just have all these crazy concepts fly by. That's what it felt like to me most. Because even when you're doing like puzzles or trying to solve something or having a fight, the comedy never stops coming. There's background characters talking to you, taunting you, breaking the fourth wall, and it was just as fun for me to watch on stream as I bet it was to play. Like I had so much fun watching you and Chaos play it. Was you playing it on like a Friday or Saturday night? And I was like, I got to play a video game, and I'm like, oh shit, Stuff is just streaming. I popped a beer, and I watched you for like 2 hours. It's like, it's funny as shit.
It's great. I mean, it's great comedy to. It makes itself, you know. You're playing the game or you're watching it. You don't have to try to entertain everybody. I mean, it does it itself. It's so great. I mean, the storytelling is good. I can't suggest it more for people that enjoy, you know, the Rick and Morty show or South Park or that type of humor.
Yeah, and if you don't like that type of humor, well, go fuck yourself. Yeah,
you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Obviously, I'm joking. If you don't like the type of humor, you're more than welcome to stay here. I have to say that because somebody's going to take that the wrong way. I don't actually mean it. The last, I think it was the first or second episode that you were on here, we were fucking around, and I have a sound clip of you saying, "Go fuck yourself, San Diego."
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I play that on my stream every now and again, and people are like, "What is that from? Is that from Ron Burgundy?" I go, "That's actually Snuffus," but yeah, that's where it's from.
I'm surprised most people didn't pick up on that.
Right? Well, Snuffus, besides the baseball diamond, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Twitter at BryceS89, and they can also find me on Twitch at Snuffus89.
Awesome. What year were you born? I'm just kidding.
1972.
Close. And you can find me at CrunkyTTV on Twitter and obviously at twitch.tv/Crunky. And that's Crunky with 2 N's. But for now, Snuffus, thanks for being on, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Have to have you on again soon. We've been having a lot of guest hosts lately while Cherry is on hiatus. So when the next game comes out you want to talk about, you hit me up.
You got it. Anytime. We will be. I can't wait. The one game I'm waiting for, I'm hoping it's not a giant piece of shit. The new Star Wars game.
Hype it up.
Yeah, the new Star Wars game.
When it comes out, I'll get it to him. We'll play it and talk about it.
Nice.
Until then, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.